Hello. Let me know if you can hear me. Pixel Bob, does that mean that you can hear me? Nice. Okay. Well, I'll get started in a couple minutes. Thanks for coming. I was messing with OBS before this because it decided that one of my one of my scenes in OBS wasn't accessing my camera anymore. It just decided that it was going to stop working. So this is the fun of learning how to stream, I guess, while learning Tensorflow Js, trying to figure this out. So we'll get started in a couple minutes. Like I said, I am excited to be diving into some code, and I don't normally use a light mode theme, but I have heard that it's easier to see a light mode theme. So I also spent time trying to pick a light mode theme that was tolerable to me. So I have one that is okay for now, but I'm gonna have to find a new light mode theme. If anybody has good recommendations for light mode, let me know. Yeah, today we are going to be using the Toxicity Classifier. So this is a learning experience for me. I'm learning as I go, and I want it to be beginner friendly for everyone. And so we're going to go over some of the key terms, I think, and also look at a little bit of the documentation. But we will be getting into the toxicity detector, how you can run it simply on your machine, how you can use the models that are set up for Tensorflow Js in the official repo, and then and then we'll chat. We'll see what questions everyone has. Oh, recently implemented it. Oh, cool. I would love to know more about that. Do you have a blog post or a video link on that? That would be really cool to watch. Hey, Pachi. It is great to have you here. I'm trying to work on this whole typing in the chat and following the chat and talking all at the same time. This is going to be great. Last week was my first stream, and I got very distracted by the chat, which was okay because we weren't really talking, we weren't really diving into code or anything. So it's all that balancing act. Oh yeah, I would love to see a video. Nick's ready for Christmas. I think that's it. All right, welcome again to everyone who's here. We'll get started, I think, maybe about now. Ooh, moving windows around here, trying to figure this all out. There are just so many different views for me to look at. Which one do I need to make the main thing? That's the other thing. Multi-language support would be huge. I feel like that would be a really great Hacktoberfest project. I know that one of the people that I mentored for Hacktoberfest, I can't remember which repository they were working in, but that's essentially what they were doing. They were getting data from their native language and making it a part of this other project. That would be really cool though. Yeah, Nick, you need an alpaca with a Santa hat on there, I think, so you could really have alpaca claws there. All right, welcome everybody. I just want to tell you a little bit about me. I think I'll probably say essentially the same thing in every stream, but just because if you're new here, I want to make sure that we're able to get to know each other. Feel free to drop in the chat where you're from, what you do, all of that great stuff so we can talk about this. This stream is all about learning together for me. So I am new to live streaming. I am new to Tensorflow Js. I have been a front-end developer for a couple of years now. I taught college English for 10 years before that. So I am really pushing myself to get out of my comfort zone, I think, doing these streams. And so I don't know all of the answers, but I'll make sure that we find them. And if you know the answers to any of the questions that come up, please go ahead and let me know, or feel free to answer those in the chat. I'm going to try and keep track of the chat for now. And this is an 11 to 12 part series. I'm going to be using Gant Laborde's book, Learning TensorFlow JS. So I'm just going to drop the links to that in the chat so you can follow Gant on Twitter, because Gant is amazing. And then also there is his book if you want to follow along as well. This is how I'm learning. So it's going to be 11 to 12 streams. I started last week just with an overview and kind of like what I was excited about learning, why I was excited about this. And now this time I'm going to start talking a little bit more about code and figuring these things out so we can do this all together. If you want to follow my journey, you can follow me on Twitter or dev.to, and I'm essentially Becca HW every place around. It's consistent. I don't have anything set up in GitHub right now, and I was thinking that I probably should have a repository set up of, I don't know how I would organize it. So if you have suggestions for that, that would be great. But I have, right now, I'm kind of taking notes in Obsidian along the way for all of the things that I'm doing, the examples, and some of the resources that I'm using too. So I have this content that's accumulating, and I plan on writing a blog post about every one of the streams. So I think that, Gant's book does have a reference code repository. And hopefully we'll be able to dive into some other things and learn new things along the way too. I think one of the things learning TensorFlow JS for me was wrapping my head around a different way of thinking about things, because I hadn't thought in this way for a while, and I worked mostly with React. And although, using JavaScript, it's different because it's vanilla JS right now, and so it's very stripped down, and returning to understanding that has been good to revisit that too. Let's see, what else do we have going on today? So yeah, like I said, we are going to talk about some documentation. We're going to walk through the models, and we're going to set up a basic example. And then I'm also going to go through and clone the example that they have on the official repository to try and run that. So I found one of the biggest learning curves for me as I was starting off and getting through all of this stuff was just getting it to run on my M1 MacBook. It does not play nicely with the ARM64, so we're going to be running a lot of stuff in browser. We're going to be using Parcel. We are not going to be using Node during the stream unless I suddenly figure out how to do that. Gant will be making a guest appearance. I also have to figure out how to get audio when two people are live streaming together. So I'm using OBS. If anyone has tips for that, that would be awesome as well. I had somebody on, I was doing like test live streams, doing some pair programming, and we could not get her sound to work. And I'm not really sure why. So I read a bunch of blog posts. I did what they told me to do. It did not work. So I need to get that figured out and see when Gant's going to come on. I know that he's super busy doing all of these amazing talks, and I think we'll have some other guests on the stream as well, which will be really, really fun. Thanks, Nick. I would appreciate help with the sound. I know you're always offering to do that, so I appreciate it. And I know that TensorFlow JS has a Discord, and I might be able to use that to get things set up. If not, I was trying to use Zoom before, and I just could not do the right thing. So this is me learning TensorFlow JS. This is me learning how to live stream and do all of this stuff too. So this is where we're at. And one of the things that I talked about last week, but I want to reiterate, is that there can be a lot of like really complex ideas if you're new to learning TensorFlow JS, and maybe you're a front-end developer, so you feel equipped to jump into this. Maybe you're just exploring it for the first time. But the nice thing about Gant's approach in the book is like, hey, let's allow the magic to happen and then slowly peel back the layers. So we're going to be running some stuff. We don't have to know all of the different pieces and parts of the way that things are working, but what we should know is that there are complex things happening behind the scenes, and we'll explore them at a pace that I feel is pretty comfortable for a lot of people who are new to learning this with me. So a little bit about TensorFlow JS. So TensorFlow, just TensorFlow, not with JS or not TensorFlow Lite. You might have heard of that. It was Google's first public machine learning framework, and that was released by the Brain team in 2015. And they were using that to solve problems from cloud problems for Google with Python. And so, like I said in the last stream, I don't know any Python. I'm a front-end developer, and I'm fairly new at that. So for me, that felt like something that I didn't really want to jump into, learning a new language, but I was very, very excited about machine learning. And so then in 2018, this is when TensorFlow JS was released. And so we're talking, it's 2021 right now. So this is a very, very new thing that's still out there. And this is what's exciting about it too, right? Like we get to watch it be shaped and to find a community and find people talking about it and different use cases for it. I think Google Health might use it. I was looking at a couple of different things beforehand. I'll try and remember to find those links, but I definitely retweeted the motion one that Charlie Gerard, I think that's her name, was showed on Twitter today. That was pretty cool. So also check out my Twitter feed because I will retweet those kinds of things because I think it's pretty cool. So then in 2018, this is when they demoed it at the TF Developer Summit. And so this was kind of like the pivotal moment that's bringing us up to where we are now, because if you can run JavaScript, then you can run things that are powered by TensorFlow JS. So let's see. Gant's not safe for work and Toxicity. Wow, that is so awesome. I would like a tour of this sometime. So I feel like hopefully once I figure out how to get other people on the stream, maybe you'll come give us a tour of these things, because that sounds really cool. I love the idea of having, like, seeing it in action too, because I think that, you know, what we're going to do today is a simple demo of what can be done, but like seeing them in action is just, I don't know, it gets me really excited about things. Let's see. So we're going to perform most of these things in the browser. Today, we're going to be using a script tag as I go through this first example, and then we're going to be running it with a parcel bundler. Hopefully, if that works, if I can clone the repo and get it working. I think the first couple of weeks of trying to learn TensorFlow JS just was navigating through why none of these things would work for me. But I also had a pretty new M1 computer or MacBook, and I just was not aware of how many things were broken. Oh, all right. Well, then, so we've got a comment in the chat that they are able to use Node.js with TensorFlow JS. That's interesting. Yeah, and there's, let me see, I think I have a link to why I was having a hard time. Okay, here I'm going to go ahead and drop this issue in the chat. This was the problem that I was having. And so I had kind of abandoned it because I knew that I can run it in other ways for what I was working with. And so if I can get it started running on Node.js, that would be really fun to bring that into the stream as well. Let's see. Okay, so one of the cool things about Tensorflow JS is that they have this repository of a bunch of different models that you can use. So let me try and share my screen here. Is that the right? Yes, that's it. Okay, so just to make sure you're seeing TensorFlow and TensorFlow models, and you can still see me on the screen, right? If anyone could verify that in the chat, I would appreciate it. This is the repository that's mainly being used that we're going to be diving into. Thanks, Nick. And so this has all of the models. And the nice thing about this is these are ready to go. And so you can really play around with them. If you look at the READMEs for each of these, it helps you to understand what is happening there. I'm going to go ahead and look at that comment after I talk about this, because otherwise I'm going to get super distracted, but thank you. Okay, so this has a bunch of pre-trained models, which is really nice. You can go ahead and clone this whole repo and then CD into what you want to be using, which is what we're going to be doing a little bit later on. But it tells you there's different kinds of models. It lets you know what the demo is going to be like. And so we have, MobileNet, or it's using hand, pose. Coco SD, I talked about this one on Learn with Jason, where we identified different images in pictures and tried to determine whether or not if pizza was a sandwich. I think that's where the conversation went at some point. So there's all these different things, and if you click on them, it'll give you directions on how to run them, how to install them, and you can kind of play around and get to know what you're looking at. And so that's one of the ways that I really like to learn, is by opening something up, taking a look, and seeing what the different parts are doing. So hopefully that's what the second part of this stream we'll be talking about today, just kind of breaking down and looking at things together. And so, yeah, anyway, we'll be using text toxicity here. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. But let's see, where are we going to go before that? Well, let's take a look at just the documentation on the toxicity model so we have an understanding of what we're going to be approaching here. So this detects whether or not text contains toxic content. And so it gives you different labels or categories, and then it's going to go ahead and rank them. And so we'll be able to put in some strings and test whether or not those things are working, whether or not something is toxic or it isn't. And we'll talk a little bit more about this and what that means and how it detects that in a couple of minutes. But, they have this link about how things were calibrated. And I think, okay, so this does a good job of kind of breaking down what these different categories are. And so what does it mean to be very toxic? This is a hateful, aggressive, disrespectful comment, or otherwise very likely to make a user leave a discussion or give up sharing their perspective. And I know, Nick, last week you talked about, I think, moderation, chat moderation, and what were the applications for TensorFlow JS, and this is one of them. And I think I forgot to mention it last time because I was distracted by other things, but this would be a really cool way to provide moderation in different scenarios and to use it in ways that help make it a quick response. Or I was talking to someone the other day about this, and they were saying how they're in a group, and in moderation it's hard to tell if in text somebody is being offensive, or if your feelings about that person are reading into what they're saying and as to whether or not it's offensive. And so the person was saying, well, yeah, maybe I can just run it through this model, and that'll help me to think about my own biases as I'm approaching these conversations, which I thought was interesting and could be a different way of thinking about how we can use this to even, like check ourselves. It's kind of like proofreading, except thought reading, except that sounds very different because thought reading is like mind reading. So, and so then there you go. You have the definitions for, let me see. I think maybe I need to make this a little bit smaller. Maybe, no. I think maybe next time I just need to move my face over a little bit more. Sorry about that. It's cutting off. But I'll go ahead and drop this link into the chat as well. And there we go. So it gives you these different categories, how they evaluate them, and also what the people who were training the model were, or who were looking at the data, were looking for. And so there's different ways that they went through it. And so there are some comments here, and it says, warning, some of the comments below are horrible. Stop reading here if you don't want to read horrible comments right now. They are, in fact, horrible. I can verify that I started looking down there, and then I thought, oh no, these are very, very horrible. So definitely take that seriously. I'm not going to scroll down because I don't want to show these horrible comments on the screen, but it also gives a little explanation of why they were categorized in that way, which can be really helpful in understanding some of the things that are, maybe borderline. Maybe it depends on the context of the way that things were said, but this definitely can help you to understand that. So let's see, a couple of other things. So we'll be putting some of our own stuff in there, and if you want to contribute, you can send your insults in a couple of minutes into the chat, and we can put those in there. I know that I said some words so far, and I want to make sure that I define them because I hadn't before, but when we're talking about a model, we're talking about the expression of an algorithm, and this has been trained with data. It recognizes patterns, and it can do things like make predictions, transformations, react to different things. And so this is what we're giving the model, in this case, some strings to classify, and that's what's coming out with the answers that we'll see. We're going to be talking about thresholds in a minute as well, and so I think the default threshold for toxicity classifier is 85%. So what that means is if it is labeled as 85% toxic, or if it falls into one of those categories, then it will be true. So for example, let's see, what are the categories here? So profanity and obscenity. If there's profanity, if it says 85% profanity, which I think would be hard, I'm not sure how you get 85% profanity, but that 85%, then it would say true for that, or we could print out true. So you can change what the threshold is. And so depending on what your use case is, that might be really useful. And so we'll change it just for this example, just to show you how we would do that. Our labels, the things that are called labels, those are what I've been referring to as categories. I should probably get in a better habit of saying labels because that's the correct terminology in my brain. It makes sense to call it a category. And then we're going to come out with predictions. And so our predictions are an array of objects, and it's going to show what the probability is, whether or not there is a match that would indicate true or false. And one thing I found, we were getting some nulls when I was talking to some other folks about this last week. And so in the documentation, it says, if neither prediction exceeds the threshold, match will return null. So I suppose that's if it's kind of that gray area, which is an interesting concept to think about, and how language falls into that and what that means for this model and what we will be using it for. So one of the things, this is pretty I think this is a pretty good model to start with for beginners because we can simplify it and we can walk through each of the pieces. And so I think, let's see, it might make sense just to go ahead and get started coding now. So I've got this editor, this code editor open, and we're going to keep it simple. Like I said, this is my new light theme, and we are going to, well, it would help if I selected a file to get started. We're going to go ahead and walk through this. So we're just going to use this in index.html, and we're going to make things simple for us right now. And so we want to make sure that we have this. I've already said that this is a JavaScript project, and so it knows that that's what we're looking for. So then we're going to do our HTML tags after this. Oh, I don't have it set up for closing tags. There we go. That is something I should figure out. All right, and so then what we want to do here in the head is we're going to add in those script tags. And let's see here. What do we want? I think, so I'm grabbing this from the documentation. Oh, and I don't have any text wraps, so on my MacBook I'm going to hit Option Z, and that's a shortcut to do the text wrap. So let's go back to this documentation, and so we're doing this standalone script tag. You can install it using yarn add. Go ahead and copy that and paste that if you're using it. But this is how we're going to be importing it right now. So we've got that done, and the next thing we need to do is we're going to load our model. Okay, so the way that we load our model, we want to open up a new script tag here, and we're going to put everything in there. You can also alternatively have an index.js file and import that here. Like I said, I want to keep it pretty simple for what we are doing here. And so we are just going to, can't remember. I couldn't remember if I had my script tag started there. So we're just going to add the script tags so we can read the JavaScript and have this work. So right now we want to make sure that we have that threshold set. And so we're going to create a variable const threshold. And then we're going to change it. Like I said, I think 0.85 is the default. We're going to just have 0.5 here. And then we're going to go ahead and load our model. So to do this, we can do toxicity.load. And what's happening here is we're loading this from TF Hub, I think. Let me grab the link here. TF Hub. Nope, it would help if I spelled it right. Okay, so Google has a model hosting service that's popular for community models, and it's called TF Hub, and there's the link to it. And so you can see those models, like a bunch of different models in there if you want to play around with some different things. And so when our code calls load, it makes a request to TF Hub for this particular model. And so, you know, we've let it know that we want to call the toxicity model, and we're going to load it. But what we want to pass in here is that threshold. And so we're going to have this here. I spelled that right then. Okay. And then after that, we are going to go ahead and look at this model. And what do we need to do next? So we have the threshold, and then we're going through and loading the model. And from there, we need to give it some data to look at, right? And so this is what we're just going to call, I guess we can call them sentences or insults. I guess they don't have to be insults. So let's just, we'll just call them sentences. And we have an array here. So if anybody has an insult they would like me to pass that is not super offensive to everyone who is viewing the live stream, go ahead and let me know in the chat if you would like to see an insult. And I'm going to say my 5-year-old called my 7-year-old, I think it was like a baby, let's see, you're a baby little poop. Okay, so he was very upset about that. We will find out whether or not he is vindicated in being upset. Just kidding. But I saw this challenge recently. It was during some hackathon where it was an Alexa hackathon. And so a mom created what was it called? Kid court, I think, to resolve issues for her children. And so I was thinking like, oh, what if we combined Alexa and the toxicity model? Because half of what I do when my children are home, I have 4 kids, is play referee on whether or not somebody should have said that. So I think maybe if we hook this up to Alexa and Alexa let them know whether or not that was an insult, and then we attached some type of punishment maybe to whether or not, what if we attach it to like the percentage of the insult? Like, wow, that was a 99%er. That means you don't get any candy tomorrow. I'm not sure. But anyway, I thought that would be funny. So your baby little poop is one. And then thanks, Nick, for giving us you smell bad. Whoops, that's not it. You smell bad. And then let's see, let's add another one in here that maybe is not going to be insulting. So how about something like, oh, Nick likes llamas, so we can say llamas. Oh wait, it's not llamas, you like alpacas, right? Alpacas are cool. Maybe llamas aren't. I'm not really sure. Alpacas. All right. So we've got these 3 things going in there. And so we're ready to figure out whether or not these are insults or not. And so now what we need to do is we need to tell the model to actually classify these things. So let's see here. Go ahead and we just call that model and we let it know we want to classify. Nope, we do not want to have this like that. We want to pass model.classify. I'm going to pass this method these sentences. So then that way it can run them through the model and it can let us know whether or not this is in fact an insult. Okay, so we're going to, so then we need to print these results. We're going to do this pretty simply this time. Sorry, there's a gnat flying around. And we're just going to console log what we have going on here. Okay, so we're going to console.log. What do we want to console.log? We're going to say json.stringify. Make this kind of pretty, our predictions. Ooh, can't see anything. This is what happens when I start working on a small screen. It's like a guessing game now. And did I do that right? Okay, let's see. Where model.classify, we've got that going for us. Sentences. Oh, I skipped a whole part. I'm sorry. Let's backtrack a little bit because you can't just do that. We're going to use .then. Here we go. And then from there, we can come out with the predictions. Yeah, look, so I was classifying and saying to console log the predictions when we weren't even referring to predictions anywhere else. So I was jumping ahead of myself. And now I am maybe back on track. .predictions. And I forgot another. And I'm sure that I do not have a closing one of these somewhere. Nope, not there. There we go. Okay, so again, basic, we are looking at these very basically. And so this should work. So what am I going to do now? I am going to let's see. Let's reveal this in Finder. And we'll go ahead and open that up. It's going to open up on the wrong screen, so excellent. We'll pull it down here. Did I save this? And we have nothing, so excellent. This is not what we want to happen. Oh, but wait. Oh, you know why? Because I didn't tell it to say anything. That's the issue. So if we do want to set this up, if we want people to know what they should do with this information, then after the script, I feel like I really blew that because it would have been a great surprise to see this all at once. We go ahead and close that. Wait, did we close the head tag yet? I don't think so. And then we start HTML. No, we don't. We already have HTML started. I mean, let's just throw in an H1 that says, check the console for results. And then voila, it says it. Just let me make this bigger so you all can see it. Okay, so right now, well, let's see. There's not really that much that you need to see. It says check the console for results. So really, what we want to take a look at is what it says in the console. And so we've got these 3 different phrases that we're looking at here, right? And so here are the results. This is what we're getting when we're console logging that prediction. We have a label. And so this is telling us which of the categories that it's looking at for each of these things. So identity attack. And so the first one that we had was, let's see, you're a baby little poop. Okay, so is this an identity attack? 99% sure that this is an identity or is not an identity attack. Okay, so let me back up a second because I feel like I jumped ahead and I didn't explain what these results were going to look like. So when it evaluates this, it is going to evaluate true or false here, and it's going to be between 0 and 1. So when the total should be, you can see here, the total will be 1. And so if it's false, then the first object that will have the highest number. And so we're working on getting that false there. And the second number is going to be true. So that determines whether or not it is if it is an insult with that particular label. And so this is using, let's see, a float 32 array. And so, yeah, so again, this is 99% not a violation, 0% a violation. And so this, again, helps you to kind of look at what that gray area is, that middle ground, and this can help us to quickly identify whether or not something is a violation. So let's see, we had the labels up here, right, where it's explained what these different pieces meant, right? So, okay, maybe not. This is an identity attack. Okay, identity-based attack. A negative, discriminatory, or hateful comment about a person or group of people based on criteria, including, but not limited to, race or ethnicity, religion, gender, nationality or citizenship, disability, age, or sexual orientation. And so none of our examples fell into that category and had that label assigned to it. So then the second one, which is insult, which is much more general, let's see, would be insulting, inflammatory, or negative comment towards a person or group of people. So this is kind of like the general overview of what we're looking at. And so we have this insult, and the probability of you're a baby little poop being an insult is in fact 80.7% sure that that is an insult. So my 5-year-old will be in trouble for calling her 7-year-old brother a baby little poop. And let's see, what was our next one? This one's a little bit closer. You smell bad. So this comes out false. So it's saying that it is not in fact an insult. Sorry, I should have made that a little bit bigger. Make it a little bit bigger still. I want this to go away, but I don't know how to make it go away. So maybe I'll figure that out later. So you smell bad is not considered an insult. And I think that's one of those things that it depends on how you say it, who you're saying it to, but in general, it's an observation and probably why it isn't categorized as an insult. And although it is 26%, it had a 26% match. So it wasn't exactly as sure as you're a baby little poop. And then the last one, which is alpacas are cool, that it is pretty darn sure that that is not an insult. So we have 99.9 essentially percent telling us that this is not in fact an insult. So this is, and then so the object that we get here, what we're console logging these predictions, it goes through each one of these things. And so you'll see that the results are broken down here and lets us know, okay, there's the label, there's the results, and the probabilities. So let's see. We can go through, we don't need to go through all of these, but I want to stop for a second because I haven't stopped for a second to ask if there are any questions, which I should have done a while ago. So if anybody has questions, feel free to throw those in the chat while I take a drink. All right, very, very cool. So let's see if there's anything else that I think is important to talk about these things. Okay, I think we can go ahead and take a look at the code in the repository then. Sorry, I'm still looking at this. All right. Okay, this is what we're going to do now. So I'm going to walk you through what it would look like if you were grabbing this from the repo. So I am going to go ahead and delete. Should I delete this? Maybe I'll just make a new project. All right, we will go ahead and find that repository here. And actually, so what you want to do if you want to work with these, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to clone this. Where is my terminal? So, whoops, my terminal does not want to come over. It's refusing to move out of this window. So I'm just going to go ahead. I have my terminal open. I'm CD'd into my projects folder, and I'm going to get clone this repository. Whoops. Okay, and then once I have that cloned, I am going to find it in my projects folder. So I'll CD into the projects folder, and it's called TFJS models. So I'm going to CD into that. And then where do we want to be? We want to be at toxicity, right? Yes, toxicity is where we want to be. So that's the folder that I need to CD into next. And then actually within the toxicity folder, so if we explore this a little bit, we have the demo that we can run, which I think we'll go ahead and do. So this is the reason why I'm showing this is because I think it's useful to see, okay, what if I don't have the book to go by? What if I read the documentation about the toxicity model and I have no idea what the different pieces of this are? Well, then you can go in here and look at what they are talking about and run their demo and look at their documentation. And what I want to say too, if you're new like I am and you're going through these and you stumble upon something that has documentation that you think isn't clear, I always say to raise an issue somewhere or to have a PR. So I don't know how the maintainers feel about that, but I feel like if you are struggling through it, then somebody else is struggling through it as well. And that it's useful to clarify in the directions, especially since, like I said, this has been going on since 2018. So only 3 years old. It's a little baby repo. And sometimes little babies need to know how to say things differently. And so I am saying that maybe you can contribute to the documentation here. So I'm also going to CD into the demo, and then I am going to open this up in VS Code using my shortcut code space dot. Here we go. Okay, so this is what that folder looks like. So exactly what we see, not there, in the documentation. Let's X this out. Here is what we will see here. So when you first have this, I'm going to go ahead and open up a VS Code terminal because that's easier. Why does this say mobile net? Okay. Well, let's hope this works now. I'm not sure what was going on with that. It's definitely a different example. But, okay, so what were we doing? Opening up a terminal in VS Code, if it will let me. Okay, I think I was just looking at the wrong screen, and that's the problem. I normally code on a different screen. So we've got a new terminal here. And the first thing that we want to make sure we do is run yarn, get all of these things installed. No, excellent. We are already winning here because it is not working. Let's see. This refers to a non-existing file. Awesome. I love non-existing files. Okay, let's just go ahead and move this off my screen so I stop. Okay, we CD'd into the toxicity folder. We tried to run yarn. And that did not work. We are in... Okay, let's just make sure we've got this all. We're looking at the right thing. We have the toxicity model. We've got the package JSON. Now, what is it saying we don't have? Oh, okay, I see. Nick is telling me, did you build it? It's looking for a file in, oh, no, I did not build it. Did it tell me to build it? Let's see. Install dependencies and prepare the build directory. So I should be able... Okay. Well, yarn start. Oh, okay, what does it tell me I need to do? Maybe it is build. Let's look at the documentation. Yarn watch, yarn, build and publish toxicity locally. NPM start. Okay, well, for the sake of the demo, okay, yarn watch so you can make changes. All right, let's see here. What is this telling me? No license field. Command not found. For starting it, what does it show for the start script? Okay, yarn build. Yeah. Yeah, I just kind of assumed that there was a start script because every project I run has a start script. Let's see. Yeah. So yarn build. Didn't like that either. Oh, because I spelled it wrong. So spelling right is useful. No, we have exit code 127. I think in parcel it's watch, but it's missing the package. Yarn install. Sorry, Nick. I know you said that already. Yarn install. No license field. Okay, so all right, that is a license field, right? Okay. Toxicity demo. Let me. All right, this is up to date. Okay. So we have, it wanted to validate the package JSON. You can try to add a start script. Well, sure, I can try and add the start script, but can you help me do that? Because I'm not really sure what I need to be starting if I can't get this to run yarn. Oh, yarn watch. Well, I tried yarn watch already and that didn't work. I think. Yeah. So it's saying no license field. Yarn run version. No license field. It can't find cross env. All right, let's figure out what this is looking for. Okay. All right, start parcel. What else do I want there? You just do that? No, because that's not a, oh, I see. Script. So we go back up here and we do, nope, not that. Start, and then you're saying just straight parcel. Yarn start. Okay. I could, let's see, what did I do wrong here? This is, do I need a comma? Yes, I need a comma. Whoops. Yeah, why is it complaining about the license? Line 16. Okay, yarn start. I really thought that this would go and I would not have errors. Parcel command not found. Okay, so maybe let's look at parcel won't run because the npm packages didn't install yet. Oh, right. Okay, so what is going on with the license field, I guess, right? No license field. I mean, there is a license field. So I guess okay, you're saying there is more than one package JSON. So meaning that, okay, so, okay, well, let's see. You CD into the demo, right? And then run yarn. And that's what we did. So there, it is, I am in the demo folder. I am where I'm supposed to be. No, I think that, can you try yarn add dev parcel? Yes, I will try it. And Nick, it is an obvious question, but one that I have had to ask myself on a couple of occasions where I was like, what is going on here? I don't understand. Oh, wrong folder. All right, let's see. No license field. It just is really upset about this license field. All right, we're going to get this. Validating package, resolving packages. Okay, Nick, you're saying, oh, you know what? Maybe, oh, wait, I have an idea. Nope, that didn't work. So I have found that sometimes if I change my node version to 16 and no matter what I'm doing, that it suddenly decides to work. Apparently it is not going to work this time. This is node engines. Maybe I need greater than or equal to 8.9. I was working in another project recently where it would work on just random versions of node, like node 14. Everybody run on node 14. But let's see here. Okay, Nick, you said, yeah, I can try and use npm npm build. Oh, I always forget. I never use npm, so npm run build. Okay. No, now we're back to this cross env npm install. Oh, yep, that's usually what you do. So you usually that's right. npm install. I never ever use npm. So this is working. Yarn is not. Well, at least it looks like it's working. Okay. Oh, hey, Bruno. Yeah, cross env is not there. So hopefully this works. Then you should be good to run npm run watch. Thanks, Nick. Getting ahead of myself again. Maybe. Fingers crossed here that this all works. Okay, now, what does this say? Did that work? Worked, right? Yay. Okay. Now will be npm. Well, and actually in the, yeah, me too. Wishing package dependency was not a thing. Watch, right? Or build. npm run watch. Yep. Thanks. The directions did say to use yarn too, and this is also why I went with yarn. Woo! Looks like it's doing something. We are making progress. We can see the progress. It is moving at the bottom of the screen. Slowly. 14.9 seconds. Hello, we did it. It's running in the wrong screen. Let me find the screen for you. Oh, no, I just lost it. I totally lost the screen. Here we go. It's here. Let me make it bigger. All right. Hey, we did it. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I don't think they're console logging anything here. Oh, it's just telling us there's a bunch of errors. Excellent. Okay, we're going to ignore this. Okay, so here, this is the same thing that we were doing before, except they have this built out a little bit more, and they have this nice little button, and they'll go ahead and classify it for you. So I'm going to take those insults or those sentences that we did the predictions on before, and thank you everyone for helping, because that was very useful to troubleshoot that. We'll start with "You're a baby little poop" and see what it says here. Maybe. Or maybe it will not work. Yeah, I'm trying to get to the poop, and it's not showing me the poop. Yeah, you know, well, it has to load the model, but also this is taking an extra long time. Where's my, oh, what is, go away. Not really sure what's going on. So since I have it so large, okay. So maybe this is the issue. No backend found in registry. Okay, so maybe it's not going to let us at load sync. Oh, okay, so it looks like it's not loading. Okay, let's look at the code. All right, we've got it running. Now, we see something, but we are not getting everything. So let's look at what the code looks like. Let me open this to the side. Oh, that's not what I meant. Okay. We're going to look at index.html first, I think, just so we know what we should be looking at. Okay, so it should say Tensorflow Toxicity Classifier demo. We've got that. We've got all of these styles in there. And here we go. This is a demo, blah, blah, blah. Enter below and click Classify to add it to the table. Okay. I am not seeing a table. So where is the table generated? Okay. Oh, yeah. So there should be a table with these samples in it. All right. Okay, so we have the model, and that's what we want for our toxicity model. We have the labels. Those are the things that we talked about using to classify it. So whether it's an insult or something like that. Let's see. Oh, thanks. Nick gave us the great tip that you can hit Command V to show or hide the sidebar. Yeah, ESLint errors. This is all this great red stuff. Can't I just ignore them all? Is there a thing that I can type at the top of the file to ignore everything? It's super annoying. Okay, add predictions. We have a table wrapper here, document.querySelector, table wrapper. Okay. Now, here, we're looking at index.js. I'm going to try this Command B. Make sure, yep, that's right. And what are we missing? I can add a breakpoint, which is also one of those things that I don't ever do. So if you want to, Okay, so wait, here we go. We have the table wrapper ID there. I see. So this is what we're looking for. And in our JavaScript, in our index.js file, we need to make sure that it's doing all of the things that we did. We did the very basic version of this earlier, right? So where are we? We have the model.classify. What are the inputs? Okay, return inputs.map. Classification.label. Okay. All right, so I guess where should we start here is the question. Classification.results. We'll classify, then we add predictions. And this is where the predictions happen, whether or not it's positive. Well, we're definitely not getting that. Model, toxicity.load. Put a debugger at line 39 and save it. All right, well, let's go. All right. Is that how you do debugger? Or is it just debugger? Thanks. Here we go. All right, let's reload this. See what we get. Okay, where do we check for debugger? This is so annoying. Here we go. It will stop automatically. Okay, we should look in the, looks like it's crashing before the debugger. Excellent. So import all as toxicity from, all right, what does this error say again? Uncaught in promise found in registry, load graph model. It's not loading it. Why is it not loading it? Okay. So we need, so it's loading, let's see, LOAD. This is the first. So model await toxicity.load. And then we're going model.output nodes.map. Toxicity is declared at the top. Import all as toxicity. So it's there. It should theoretically work. Okay. So I'm guessing toxicity.load that this is probably not working right after the const sample. Oh, can I not do that? Okay. Here we go again. Let's reload. And no, it is not it's not doing anything. Then the import is exploding. Okay. So let's run the same code and to see if it leads to the same errors. So, well, the repo that we have, we're using this straight from the models repo. So if you do want to follow along, I'll go ahead and throw this in the chat. And this is what we're looking at now. So I cloned that repo. We could not run yarn, so we ran npm install instead. And this is where we are stuck. So we're not getting samples. And let's go back and see. Just go back to this README. cd yarn, publish local. Build and publish toxicity locally. Let's go back to the package JSON. I am a yarn person, so I worked on a project once where it was at a startup, and I said, you know, are we using yarn or npm? And they said, well, try yarn first, and if that doesn't work, just use npm. Like, I think that maybe that is not the best solution. It just get it to work. It's fine. Okay. So did we do? We didn't do npm build link local. cd into the demo and install dependencies. Link the local toxicity to the demo. Yarn publish to get future updates from the toxicity source code. Oh, that's useful. We've got Tensorflow models toxicity. Those are all there, right? Package JSON. Okay, so let's see. What else could we do here? We've done index.html. Okay, why is the model not loading? That is the issue, right? And so we were able to load the model through our scripts before. Kirk is here and he believes in us, so we will solve this. We're trying to get this model to run and it is just not playing nice with us today. So let's see, we've got about 15 more minutes to figure this out. So let's go for it. We are, let's see, I can't remember how chat works in Twitch, but if you can't see it, oh no, I don't want to do a software update right now. This is what we're working with. We tried to install it using yarn. That did not work, and so we got it working with npm, and so now we cannot get it to load the model. So okay, here is the, I mean, this all should be installed, right? To import in npm, require. They do have a working demo, but their working demo works. So this is what it should look like. When we run this, we should see this because you can see that that's in the HTML, and then we should be able to type. What? That is not what I click the image. Okay, that's an image. Wait, so there's a working demo somewhere. Where's the working demo? Demo. maybe toxicity. No, it doesn't tell us here either. I know there's a working demo because I thought I was using it the other day, unless that's just what I was playing with. Okay. We've got that's the same thing we've looked at. Toxicity should have, oh, Nick knows what we need to do. Nick always has the answers. Okay. What is it? We are all waiting. Oh, here's the demo. Go down a folder and run yarn build. Okay. Am I no longer, I thought I had a terminal going here. Oh, wow. Okay, so should I delete my package lock JSON file then? Yes, probably. All right. Oh, well, I did anyway, so that's where we are. All right, why did my terminal go away? I must have closed it, right? Here we go. Terminal, and then we'll... Okay, so Nick says we need to go down this folder. So we're in the toxicity folder. We're gonna run yarn build. Okay, well, that did not work because rimraf is, yes, okay, just run yarn. There we go. We've got some movement here. Okay, so now we run yarn build. There's just a warning. Okay, wait. Yarn install, run yarn build. Now I CD back into demo, I think. Run yarn again. Look at this. Look, there's magic happening. Here we go. It's happening. Okay, so thank you, Nick, for bailing us out of this one. Let's see. So toxicity, does it tell you? Check out our demo using yarn. Import an NPM. Okay, so yeah, this is definitely a good thing to add. And I'm gonna definitely add it in, add an issue or a PR to update this. So we're gonna run yarn watch. It is doing things. I always get nervous when there's so many warnings. Like, why do you keep warning me? Yay! It's on the wrong. Here we go. We did it. Nick did it. Thank you, Nick. So now we can tell whether or not you're a baby poo-poo head. No, it's not. It's still not fixed. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is progress. So now we've got 10 more minutes. This is what should it look like? I think I found the... Okay, so it should look like this. There are 3 sentences that are preloaded in there. So now we have all of the labels, but those sentences are not happening. So this is definitely somewhere to get to. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at our index. No, this all looked good. Here we go. We have these samples. Let's see. Console. Okay, so we're still console logging those samples. Let's see what happens there. Something else now. Stripe slice. Oh, okay. Interesting. It is getting the samples at least. It knows that they're there. Okay. Engine.tidy. It's the favorite thing to do, yellow code. Okay, so we know that we have those samples in there. And so the next thing that's happening, strided slice. I don't think I've ever heard that before in my life. So if somebody has heard the word strided slice, you can raise your hand in the chat. Let's see. Is not a function. C.reshape. Oh, let's see. 79. Uncommon promise. C reshape is not a function. So are we, is that a, also terms I've not heard of. So these are all of the things I have not heard of. Maybe there's something else that needs to be built in the repo. Yeah. Well, again, we did make some progress and we have those labels there. Let's see, models.classify inputs, classification label. We're not getting the classification results. All right, I need this box to go away. What is happening here? It's not going to let me do that. All right, whatever. Maybe one of the warnings was a real one. Isn't that the fun part of it? Like which warning is real and which warning is not real? So let's see here. Where are we? We're over here. Platform browser has already been set. Overwriting the platform with object. I love it when that object shows up. Parcel require.index.js. Okay, we need to clear and rebuild. Yeah, we can try that. Let's see. Remove the node modules. That's a good call. Okay, so should we start all together, go back out into the other folder, and then come back in here, or should we just start here? I feel like maybe should just stop that. CD back out. And then we're going to run. Oh, wait a minute. Do I need to delete? It fails at this line. Oh. Okay. What did we do? We did yarn build. Nick is so good. Nick always has answers to these problems. Okay, let's CD back into demo. Let's run yarn. And then in a second, we'll run. Okay, samples dot map. Oops. This is where we really want to be. Let's see, samples dot map. Oh, okay, in the predictions. Oh, I see where you are. I missed that first part. Wait, classify. Okay, so we want to classify these things. So last time, how did we do it? We did it as toxicity or model.classify. Okay. But how did we define? No, that's all we needed. Model.classify. Oh, okay. We have 4 minutes to figure this out. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. What is going on here? Is this still installing? Oh. Yarn. Finished with your snack. Okay. Well, let's go back here a second. And we know, let's see, classify samples dot map, add predictions. Wow, there's a lot going on here that we weren't doing. Let's see, console.log. I don't know why I put that in parentheses. Predictions. It would be helpful to be able to see all of this. Predictions. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Hate semicolons. I don't know why. I need to get rid of that. I don't want it to make me semicolonize everything. Okay. Parcel required. Node modules. TF core. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so the demo is working somewhere else because I ran it on Friday and I am interested in, oh, it's this one. Okay, so see, we can run it here, which is storage.googleapis.com, and then we load the models, the demos, toxicity, and index. So I would be interested in trying to see what is going on there and why I can't run it. But, oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, that's not the full link. Here we go. Here's the full link. So yeah, this is what it should look like. We're having issues in all of the places. And I can go, if people are interested in staying on, I can keep going for a little bit. I have to report a podcast at, I think it's at 3, so I better check. Yeah, it's at 3. So I can go for another 15 minutes and try and figure this out. All right, we've got these predictions that are not console logging, so that's not working. Nick said that it's also broken at results. Await model.classify inputs. Okay, so where? Oh, okay. Thanks, Nick. Nick is debugging over there too. C reshape error. What was I looking for? Okay, we're running this here. All right, go away. Stop it. Okay, so at one point, wait a minute, what's going on here? Oh, I think I messed it up again because I've lost the labels again. So what did I do wrong? Could I try the demo again? The one that is working, this one. I mean, this one, yeah, because it has "you're a baby poo-poo head" a couple of times. So that's definitely not one of the built-in sentences that happen. So what did I do to break this again? Where is my terminal? Why do I keep getting rid of it? Okay, so let's see. So I lost what we did before, whatever was happening. Oh my goodness. Okay. Figure this out. Yeah, Bruno says not a browser or OS problem. Looks like it's deep in the node modules. Tensor. Oh, that is my favorite place to be. Lost in node modules. It's like a nightmare, I think. Somebody who is in backend tweeted yesterday, like, what are these node modules things and why is it trying to make my computer blow up? And the responses to that were great. So this is when I just would like to burn it down, I guess. Where? Let's see here. I'm just trying to look at my terminal. Let's do this, CD. Okay, what did I do? I tried to open something and it didn't open. Sorry. Did it? Okay, this is, all right, I'm going to start here with this README. Okay, so this is, I'm just stepping back. I haven't used this. I have not looked at this yet. Let's see. Toxicity Classifier, which contains 2 million comments, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we got all of that. Let us know. Using yarn. Okay. Let's bring back the terminal. We're going to run yarn here. Already up to date. But, okay, let me delete these node modules. Delete this yarn lock. And then we go into the demo. Delete these node modules. Delete this yarn lock. And oh. Okay, Nick says, looks like c.reshape is tfjs minified tensorflow js tf.reshape. Oh, okay. Okay, so let's just look up tf. Oh, my computer's getting hot. Okay. All right, we'll go here. TF dot reshape. Oh, it's already right there. It's the name of the function. Tensorflow Js is an open source library. It's a function used to reshape a given tensor with a specified shape. Yes, okay. Are we passing that? The input tensor that needs to be shaped. Shape is, we need to pass an array of numbers to define the output shape. Okay, so what did we do before when we fixed this error to begin with? I'm catching up on some of the stuff in the chat. This is fun. Okay. Now we're gonna yarn build. Whoops. That's not what I meant to do. Go away. Yarn build. Again. And then what is that? Errors. What is going on here? I think I got myself deeper into this. We've got 12 errors going on. Okay, so yarn build is no longer working here. Yarn build, let's try it. I don't think I really messed anything up. Okay, let's see here. Sorry, I am trying to get back in here. Parcel is no longer maintained. Please migrate to version 2. Excellent. Go down to a folder and yarn blah blah blah. Wait. Okay, parcel version 1. You need to go down a folder and yeah. Okay. Yes. Yarn add YOLO. That is going to be what we're going to do next. Okay. So hopefully this has the labels. Otherwise, I'm not really sure what I did differently. No. Okay, it does. It does this time. All right. All right. I don't know. I broke something last time. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yes, wait a minute. There we go. I had to reload it. Oh my gosh, if that was the answer the entire time. Not that that fixes what we were doing, but before I didn't have those, and that's why I deleted all of that stuff and started over. Okay, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. Reshape. So we are looking at index.js. I'm using my new command B code that I learned from Nick. And do we have reshape shape being called? No. So I guess tf.reshape in tf.js toxicity classifier. Oh, so it is called, okay, so it's called within the classify function or method. Okay, so then where we're calling classifier, we're not giving it the right thing. We're not passing it what it wants. Classifier, classify. I feel like there's a song I should sing about that. Okay, let's find the first time we classify something. Oh. Well, that's interesting. So we've got classify, but we're not getting, are we getting the results? No, we're definitely not getting the results there. So let's see here. Oh, okay. Nick's saying there might be a package that needs to be built that the one that breaks requires. What? I'm getting a 500 error. Did I accidentally write something? Wait a minute. This is all supposed to be commented out, right? Okay, yes. It was supposed to be. Oh, hey, look. Now we have something there. Something that we are console logging is working. So that must be the input, right? This is why I should have wrote input, comma. Always forget that comma. Oh, wait. You're saying that it works for you, Bruno, without any changes? Whoa. Well, now now I'm extra frustrated that it's working for you and it's not working for me. My test phrase, let's see. You are a baby little poop. So that I think is number 1. I can copy that. Where did it? Oh, here are our sentences. That's what we were going for. Let's see. Async. Is safe. Is that? Okay. Predictions. You are a baby little poop. False, true. Yep. That's, I think, what we got over. Where's the one that we have working? Nope. Nope, it's this one, right? Yeah, you're a baby poop. We got false, true, false, 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 true. Yep. Huh. Okay. So what did I do wrong, I guess? Because there's something that I did not run correctly to get this working. Our alpacas are a baby little poop is definitely not sure about that one. Okay, so I ran yarn in the toxicity folder. I ran yarn build, and then I CD'd into the demo, and I ran yarn false. Thanks, Nick. Oh my goodness, I have to run too, and now I'm super frustrated. I don't want to leave until I have this figured out. So I will work on it for 3 more minutes, and then I'll stop, and then I'll figure it out, and I can write a post or something about it, because I am super frustrated that this is not working, that I'm getting this error. Okay, what is this silly little error? So we're getting the input part 2. Yeah. Let's see, console. Where's my console.log? Input. Okay, that is working. Await model.classify. Yeah, that's where we are too. Yes, exactly. And then are you running it through the demo? Did you CD into the demo folder? Or did you just do it straight from Toxicity? Yarn install, yarn build. I think it's the demo that's not working. CD demo. Yeah. Yeah, he's good. Okay. Async predict. Wait, so you used yarn and then you moved to npm? Predict. Async predict. Not this one, right? Predict sentences. Okay, where are we? Yep. Yeah, I mean that is definitely possible. I am not sure how I did not build it correctly, but I will try to do it again. Also updated yarn. Oh, interesting. Okay, async, predict sentences. This model, oh wait, this dot load. Can I share my code? Well, all of the code that I have in here is from the demo. So that I haven't changed anything other than adding the console logs in there. Okay, wait, this is where I am. So we're not getting the predictions. We are getting the samples, maybe. Yeah, I can try and do a fresh install. I did try to do that. Let me delete all of this stuff. Let's see here. It says my package JSON was modified. Oh, because we added that start. Whoops. Okay. Want to delete this. Actually, you know what? I've got this. I can probably just totally reopen this. Right. Where is... All right. Open this all again. Maybe. I'm sorry, it is on the wrong screen and I am trying to get this to work. Let's see here. I'm just going to reclone this. I know that sounds silly, but TFJS, oh, I went too far. Copy. Let's see. TFJS D into okay, working on doing this all over because sometimes it just makes me feel better to totally start over and to not have to worry about that. I have to go in a couple of minutes, so we may not be able to finish this. Yeah, because it is especially going very, very slowly. Why is it going so slowly? Oh, I guess I just didn't realize how large of a repository that was. There's a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, this is definitely not going to get resolved today, but what I am going to do after I record this podcast is I am going to try to run these steps all over again, see if it does work, in fact, and I will tweet about it, write a blog post about it, or have a part 2, exactly. But I want to say thank you everybody for sticking with me this long and trying to debug this. And I said this was one of the easier ones to get into, but as you can tell, sometimes there are some things missing. We did get it going with the example from Gant's book, and so I am thankful that we had that to get us started, so we didn't have to worry about building this all. And I will be here every Tuesday for the next 10 weeks at 1 p.m. Pasting the whole toxicity page doesn't appear as toxic. That is really interesting. I'm going to have to think about that a little bit more. Thanks, Bruno. And thanks, everyone, for helping to debug this. I will hopefully see you next week, or maybe I'll jump into another live stream to get this figured out. All right. Bye.